How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. Today's job, we have a D10 equalizer bar that we will be replacing the end on, and the end we're going to be replacing it with was one we made in a previous video. For those viewers who are unfamiliar with what an equalizer bar is, it basically is an equalizing system for the track system on a D10 dozer. The center of the bar is mounted up to the chassis underneath the engine, and the bar then extends out to each track frame. So as one track frame stands up, it pushes the other track frame down. So it equalizes the movement from one side to the other when they're walking over uneven terrain, rocks and logs and stuff like that. They have got the entire weight of the machine sitting on them, and when they are working, they can have a lot more weight on them if they're pushing a load or trying to lift a load and make a wall or make up a big heap. So they do cop an absolute flogging. But before we do that, I have something I have to do that has been pissing me off for the last couple of years. So we're going to go get onto that first. So the windsock on the roof is sitting on a pin, and every time it changes direction, it squeaks. If there's any wind, the noises that come out of that thing are just unbelievable. So we're just going to go up there and put some grease in there and sort that problem out.
Pretty high up here.
Problem solver. Right, so I got that sorted out. So this bar actually came in to be line bored. After it arrived, I did a quick inspection on the bar and I found a crack in one of the bar ends. And it's not something you would attempt to repair because they just don't last. So the material's already been broken, someone's repaired it, and it just keeps failing. So rather than go through that again and again and again, we're going to cut the end off and replace it. This equalizer bar is out of a early model D10, and we know that because the shape of the eye is slightly different to the newer model machines and the bar ends that we have manufactured. So the new bar ends we have got a hump in the top of them where all the grease ports are drilled and tapped into, and they've got a hump in them to put a bit extra material there in order for strength, because the early D10 bars are common for failing through the grease ports. And this bar does not have the through grease upgrade that the newer model machines have. So what that is a flat surface machined here with a thread in that for a fitting to go into, and that hole is drilled all the way through the bar, out through the center of the bar end to grease the bearing. Then there is a pipe that goes from here, it gets bolted inside the equalizer bar. There is then a junction to a flexible hose that runs up to a junction inside the engine bay or to an auto greasing system, so the machine can get grease throughout the day. It can be quite difficult to get into where the grease ports are on the equalizer bar when it's fitted on the machine, but these older model machines just didn't have that available at the time. Someone's come up with it at a later date. It was a very good upgrade, but they still have the grease ports on top of the equalizer bar in case you do get a blockage or you break a hose or something like that, so you can go there and do it from there. On the end of the equalizer bars there are 3 holes that I have drilled and tapped, and they also have 3 holes from factory. So you have the center port where you put the grease in, and then you have 2 relief valves on either side, and they are relief valves so you don't over grease the bar end and pop the seals out. When the fitter or the service tech is out there doing a service on the machine, he can pump grease in, and as long as grease comes out through those 2 relief ports, he knows that bar end is fully charged with grease and ready for work. And he doesn't pop the seals out and create himself an absolute nightmare. This end is the original bar end off the equalizer bar, and you'll notice there are no holes in the top of the bar for the grease relief valves to be. They used to be here, they've just been welded up. So I did find holes on the inside from where the grease relief valves were, but after it cracked, someone removed those and welded it up, trying to get a little bit more life out of it before they needed to do a change out on the equalizer bar. So what we need to do now, we need to get this set up and cut off this bar end. Check the bar. Turn the lock on so you can roll it. Locks it. Not happy with that flame. That'll do. Right, so that didn't go exactly to plan. I did run into a pocket, which I was unaware that it was there. Judging by the shape of the wear plate someone's welded to the bottom of the EQ bar, it should be here, but it's actually about 15 mil away from that. So it's the first time I've seen that happen, first time I've had that happen to me, but no big deal. We're just gonna grind this up now and get ready to fit the new end. Righto, so we've got the eye tacked on in place. It is as parallel as it can be with the rest of the bar. Really got to get these things as close as possible, if not perfect. If you are slightly out with your pin center, it's going to create issues when the mechanics go to fit them, and it will create a little bit of drama with the machine. So because the bars are all cast out of steel, they don't generally have many flat areas that you could reference from in order to get an eye straight again. So what I generally use is the inside of the center point. Because it is machined, it is a flat surface and it is true and concentric with the rest of the bar. They don't get any wear in there because there is a big seal there protecting it. So I use 1, 2, 3 blocks. I stand my straight edges up off the center. I use that to measure down to the existing bar end, and then I modify the measurements in order to suit the new bar ends, because these are 120 mil thick and the other ends are only 110. So you need to take that into account when you're positioning these. I double checked my measurements to make sure everything was in alignment and everything was in their right position. After I did that, I tacked it in place and then I tacked off my weld runoff plates. So I'm going to do a few passes uphill. I'll back grind each pass so I get 100% penetration, and then we can start to fully weld this out. So the wire we're going to be using to weld our new bar end onto our equalizer bar is Hobart XL525. It is a dual shield wire, so it has a flux on the inside, but it also has a gas that assists it, which is 80% argon, 20% CO2. So I'm going to run that wire at 24.5 volts and 6.5 meters of wire a minute for the vertical ups. Once we get it laying horizontally, we can then wind it up to about 27 volts and about 7.5 meters of wire a minute. Being a dual shield wire, it is multi-positional. Not all dual shield wires are positional, but this wire you can weld vertical up, horizontally, downhand, overhead. You can drag it and you can push it. It really comes down to what application you're using it for. Because that is a cast steel equalizer bar and the bar ends we have manufactured are high tensile plate, the Hobart XL525 wire is a fantastic match for those two materials. The weld joint actually stays a little bit more flexible than other wires out there on the market. And because of that, it is a great match for the equalizer bars and other components, because they do take a lot of impact and there's less chances of cracking. I haven't had any issues with cracking using this wire on equalizer bars or other components. So I don't want any impurities on the back side of my first weld to then contaminate the joint on the other side. The cleaner you get the material, the better the joint's going to be, and that is so I get full penetration on the joint from the very beginning, and then it's just a matter of moving back and forward from side to side and welding evenly so the eye doesn't pull one way. Right, so now that we've got that bar end nice and stable and everything's really solid, what I'm going to do to finish welding this out, rather than flip it on the trestles every time, we're going to use our positioner. Righto guys, so we've got the equaliser bar set up in our welding rotator. We have it supported by our shop-made roller stand. That stand's good for a couple of ton. It's at a really nice comfortable height and I don't have to do any heavy lifting anymore. For the 10 minutes it took to set this up, this is going to save me so much time. I can just simply turn it on, spin it around, weld the next side and carry on until the joint is complete. First thing I need to do, I need to give this weld joint a bit of a preheat, then we can start welding. Righto guys, so the welding is now complete on the new bar end. The customer has asked, can I please blend that weld down just to clean it up? So the way I do that, I use my 9-inch grinder to really take the bulk of the material off. After the 9-inch grinder, I go in with a 60 grit sanding wheel to just blend that in really nicely. The sanding wheels I'm using today are Sear abrasives. They are really good value for money, but there are other discs out there on the market that are 10 times better than these, but you do pay for them. The better wheel above this one would be the 3M Curbitron wheel, and they are just amazing. If you haven't tried one, I recommend you do. And a lot of people often ask the question, how much wire goes into a job like this? So what we started with today was a brand new 15 kilo spool. So I'm gonna pull that out of the machine, I'm gonna throw it on the scales and see how much wire went into putting that end on that equalizer bar. So that is 2.6 kilo worth of wire went into that weld joint, and then I ground a little bit off it. So there you go. Righto guys, so the job is not complete just yet. I do need to set the line bore up on this end and bore it to size. If you remember from a previous video when I manufactured these, I left these 1/2 mil undersize. The reason I did that is because of the amount of welding I need to do on the bar end. It would more than likely distort the eye and the bearing wouldn't fit. But the bar is far too hot for me to do any of that today, so we'll come back to this job in the morning. So the job's done now. We finished the line boring. Everything went exactly to plan. We aren't going to fit the bearings or give this a paint job. Our customer has the facility and the guys to do the reassembly and then the paint work. So that's it for our job. Thanks for watching. That on straight?
Yes.
It wasn't the other time and I looked silly.
Oh my god, it's only you that notices this.
I notice it because it has to be straight. Why do girls walk in uneven numbers? Because they can't even.
Okay, serious time now.
Right.
Are you sure? You
Yep,
say you
I
got
think
it.
I got it. Ready?
You think, yep, okay.
Fucking look out. One take, ready?
Okay.
Right. Righto guys, so where are we going with that? Righto guys, so the welding is now complete on the new bar end.
That was right.
Right. So the cut, I'm just gonna start again. So, yeah, I don't know where I was. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So there still are grease ports there, so you can go there and do it from there.
There.
Yeah. We'll then set the line bore up and I will bore this end to size. So I didn't bore the ends to a finished size, I left them under size. I said a lot of sizes then. Someone wanted to see some more blue steel.
Oh my god. You've been practicing.
I have been practicing. When no one's around, I often look in the mirror of the forklift to go. That was more of a Magnum than a blue steel.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I've got the equaliser. Fuck that wind. Fuck off, train.
Shut up. Where is it?
Fuck. Tip's covered in shit.
Is there coolant in that swarf bin?
Fuck yeah.
Oh no. I really enjoyed the smoke. I'm like, is people going to think our workshop's on fire? Whew.
Sound is driving me up the fucking wall.
Shut up, annoying thing.
It's fucking terrible sound.
Whee! Ooh. This is terrifying. Should I do a shot down over the side?
Stop moving.
Oh my god, sorry. Wait, don't move too much. Don't wobble it. Oh my god. Stop moving. Oh, this thing wobbles a lot.
Only 2 metres, yeah?
Oh my god.
Had enough now?
Yes.
You actually drive around that height.
Nah. No, 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 no. Stop. No.
Worried about heights?
Oh, that's better. Lower to the ground. Much nicer.
Nothing like rock solid ground.
Ow. Go away. Good.